Hi folks, this is all the fruit and I'm in Jardin, Victoria, a garden overlooking the historic city center of the city of La Orotava on the island of Tenerife. It's a very unusual garden. If you are familiar with Canary Islands parks and gardens, this doesn't look like any of the botanic gardens and exotic tree collections and landscape parks or mixtures of all those which have been built here for the last couple hundred years. It looks very different. It looks like a garden of Versailles or of the Austrian palaces around Vienna. Well, and it also has a very unique history. The garden is actually a monument of the fight of a Freemason family against the Catholic Church. They built a mausoleum here because they were forbidden from being buried on the Christian graveyard of La Orotava. Well, it's not so sure if Freemason ideology has played some part in the execution of the garden, like in the geometrical motifs or the selection of the plants or whatever. This is not confirmed. Well, it is supposed for a lot of important parks and gardens throughout Europe and the world, but it's not completely sure for this one. Yeah, well, after 1936, the fascist government basically destroyed some documentation, including part of a commemorative plaque here in the garden, and only after Spain has become kind of democratic again, the garden was restored. Well, as I said, it's not really a collection of a lot of exotic fruit or trees at all, but let's see what we can find here. Here is a big canary date palm, Phoenix canariensis, and here we have a lot of little Phoenix senegalensis palms with ripe edible dates, with bluish to blackish dates. Those actually are supposed to be a very close relative of Phoenix canariensis. New genetic studies even consider them just a variety of Phoenix canariensis. But look at this Phoenix canariensis here, over 20 meters tall, 30 to 40 centimeters thick, and then look at those pocket-sized palms here. Well, this should be some Podocarpus. It's Suppressus, well, most probably Sempervirens from Europe. Since we are in the slightly elevated areas of the Valle di Orotava, we have stuff here like Hibiscus syriacus, which doesn't do too well down in the warm areas, in the warm coastal areas. In the warm coastal areas, you have rather this Hibiscus rosazinensis here. By the way, they all seem to have edible fruit and flowers, despite the fact that this is not widely known for a lot of those species. Brachychiton, this should be Brachychiton discolor. The Curajong with edible seeds. Saiba pentandra, I guess. The fruit of this one are not edible, but are very good for making pillows and teddy bears. Here's a nice orchid tree, even with a couple flowers. Well, it's not in the family Orchidaceae. His flowers are just considered so beautiful that it was called orchid tree. What have we got here? Well, outside the garden, some bamboo, some ricinus or castor oil plant, avocado tree, very typical for the Canary Islands, so I forgot the name of this Melastomataceae here. Well, roses and geraniums, more and more Phoenix senegalensis. Here we have Sophora japonica, the Fabaceae family. there is actually not so much more. Here's some exotic Dracena. This is not the native dragon tree, but a different one. What have we got here? Pandanus utilis, lots of roses. Well, not really a collection of rare trees, however there are several gardens which fulfill this requirement here in La Orotava, including the Hela del Botanico, the little botanic garden of La Orotava. What have we got here? Some camellia, some Ficus benjamini, down there a couple cichas. Yeah, not as diverse as some other gardens. Here it's more like, I guess it's been made more for the view. So folks, this was the Jardin Victoria, a Freemason garden on the island of Tenerife. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the parks and gardens of Tenerife. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.